Okay, let's begin the event. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to GDSC Waseda University's first in-person event, our first ever mini solution challenge. Thank you very much for joining us today and for participating in this event. My name is Pranav and this is Advait. We will be your MCs for the first half of this session.
So before we proceed further, there are several important guidelines we would like to ask of you to follow for today's event to run smoothly.
Firstly, we request you all to keep your gadgets on silent mode throughout the event.
Please remain in your seat and refrain from speaking loudly when the participants are presenting. Please refrain from removing your mask during the entirety of the event except for eating, presenting, and taking pictures.
So there will be a 5-minute Q&A session after each team presents the idea. And please hold all the questions until the end of the team's presentation.
Now, to begin our event, I would first like to invite our chapter lead, Rose Nusha, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming today. I am very happy to see every single one of you under the same roof. So, in today's event, we will be showcasing the amazing works done by the Solution Challenge members of GDSC Waseda. So for those of you who don't know, Solution Challenge is an annual global competition held by Google, and the objective of the competition is to solve a real-life problem using Google technologies while aiming to achieve one of the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, set up by the United Nations. So from GDSC Waseda, actually 15 members participated in the Solution Challenge, and 3 of the teams will be presenting at today's event. So the unique thing about GDSC Waseda is that members, regardless of their educational background, are working cross-functionally with one another on a daily basis. So for example, even if you're not a tech background student, you can still participate in the Solution Challenge. In fact, a lot of the members who participated in the Solution Challenge this year did not have a tech background. So our goal as a community is to break those stereotypes in the tech industry and provide an environment where everyone can freely explore their interests in technology. So we have a very limited schedule today, so we need to keep going. I hope you can enjoy this event and get inspired by the amazing presentations of each team. Again, a very, very warm welcome to every single one of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Rose, for those splendid opening remarks. Now, let's begin the event.
So our first team today who will be presenting is Team Mini for Me by Xian, Holly, Ming Young, and Khaled. The team aims to make cities and human settlements safer by providing an additional warning in dangerous situations using wireless headphones. They've built an application that tells the user of possible surrounding sounds and notifies the user when the sound reaches a certain decibel. So please welcome Team Mimi for Me onto the stage.
Or have missed a car honk and try. Have you ever not been able to hear someone call your name because you have headphones on? Or have missed a car honk because you were listening to music? Then try our app, Mini for Me. The app, just like how its name contains the Japanese word for ear, which is mini, listens to your surroundings for you. When a sound is larger than 100 decibels, the app vibrates, notifying the user. It also gives you a possible cause of the sound. Our goal through this project was to make an app that could possibly decrease the number of accidents related to noise-canceling headphones and thus making cities and human settlements safer. Have you ever not been able to hear someone call your name because you have...
Okay, hi guys, I'm Holly, and today I'll be representing the Mimi for Me team to give you a presentation on our app. And so I want to start off by telling you about 3 accidents that actually happened in the United States. So first, there was a 16-year-old boy who was struck and killed by a train, and the engineer told the police he saw the boy and repeatedly blew his horn but was unable to stop the train before it hit him. The second is a woman walking on railroad tracks was struck by a train. Despite the train and nearby crossing vehicles devices giving warning, the woman was still killed. And third, a 13-year-old boy was struck and killed by a train as he walked home from school along railroad tracks. The engineer reportedly blew the train horn repeatedly, but he did not hear. And so there's one thing in common that all 3 accidents have, is that the pedestrians were all wearing headphones. So according to research done by the University of Maryland, it was said that between 2004 to 2011, which is exactly the time period where iPods and smartphones became more portable and more used, the accidents related to pedestrians wearing headphones or earphones increased by 300%. And also in the same research, when 116 cases were studied, it was found that 90% of them happened in large cities, and 70% of them were fatal, and a third of them had prior warning before the accident had happened. Also in the same way, there have been accidents reported that talk about construction workers having protective earmuffs and not being able to hear warning sounds. So looking at these statistics, our group, we thought maybe we should do something about it and make an app that tells you or gives you another notification. So our app is called Mimi for Me. Mimi is Mimi, like ear in Japanese, and for me, so it's ears for me. And very thankfully, we were able to place into the top 50 for this year's Google Solutions Challenge. So to give a very brief explanation, you can first click on the notifications you want the app to notify you, so the sounds, such as car honks, gunshot, or a jackhammer. And maybe let's say you don't want to be notified of dogs barking, then you just unclick that. And on the top 2, you have 2 different settings. The bottom allows for notifications to be sent to you, which will be sent by a banner on your phone or through vibrations. And the top allows the app to run on the background of your phone so that you can use different apps, and this app will still be working on the background, or your phone can be off, like your screen can be off and it'll still work. So if you go to the home page, you'll be given with this. And when there is a sound that is above 60 decibels, 100 decibels, or is one of the sounds that you selected on the previous settings page, then it'll give you a notification like this. So this is if you were on the app. And you can call emergency straight from the app as well. And how it categorizes these sounds is through machine learning. And also everything is on the app itself and not through a cloud, so the response time is actually quite short. So as we said, if you allow it to run on your background, it will still work even if you don't have the app just open. And so you'll get a banner like that, along with a vibration that will tell you that, hey, there was a gunshot. So through this app, we aim to make sustainable cities and communities, which is the 11th SDG, by trying to decrease the number of accidents related to headphones or earphones or earmuffs, and to make cities a safer place. So with that, I'll wrap up my quick presentation, and our developers are here, so if you have any other technical questions or any questions, please, we'll be happy to answer them.
If you have any questions about this app, you can freely ask. Okay. Yep.
You said that the app recognizes sounds through machine learning, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you well.
Machine learning.
Yeah.
You said that the app recognizes sounds through machine learning. Did you guys make your own database? Or how did that?
Thank you for the question. No, we didn't make our own database, but we used one provided by, I think, Keras, and we used that through TensorFlow. We like connected it. That was compatible with TensorFlow and Python, so we used that. Yeah.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Is there any kind of a sensory function in your app which detects like how closer you get, for example, if you get closer to the railroad tracks or any imminent danger that someone wearing headphone can encounter? Is there a sensor or some located function?
Yeah, so as of now we don't, but that was actually something we were thinking of adding if possible, is to maybe connect it to some map or to tell you where the nearest, maybe let's say there was a gunshot like 100 meters from you, to tell you that. Yeah, I think.
It was one of them. Yeah.
I think this is a wonderful idea, and I'm like really impressed at like how you guys were able to come up with the idea. So could you give me some insight into that process of like how it was it these individual incidents that provided you with that inspiration?
It was actually more like I personally bought Beats headphones, and then the wireless, the noise canceling features were so good that I couldn't hear anything all the time. And I had several incidents where literally these friends will be like, Osu, because I can't hear them when they're trying to call me. And so I think that's where we found the inspiration.
Wow, awesome. Unintended commercials for Beats.
Yeah.
I have a question. So I'm sorry if I missed it earlier, but does the software use the microphone of the phone or the earphones?
So the app uses the microphone of the earphone, or like anyone who is selected, like which one is selected on the mobile. Yeah. I think that's it. Okay. Thank you for listening.
So thank you very much to Team 1 Mimi for me. It was a splendid presentation. Now,
Thank you once again. So for our next team, we have Team Food Waste Fighter by Kaede, Navya, Haru, and Takumi. They've built an application that constantly tracks and updates the user's location and presents events within their vicinity with Apple's MapKit and core location framework. For example, organizations can notify the users of donations or discounted food items to reduce food wastage and encourage users to help the businesses in any way possible. So please welcome Team Food Waste Fighter.
Oh, it's not this one. This one.
Okay. Hi. Okay, so today I'm gonna present to you our solution. It's a food waste spider. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so food loss is definitely a problem, but sometimes you ask yourself, how big of a problem is it? Okay, but here's a quick little trivia for you guys.
Does anyone know how much food is wasted globally? Anyone want to guess?
931.
931? Anyone else?
100 million tons.
100 million tons? No one else? All right. Okay, Jake is right. But I'm sorry, there's no prize here. So, yeah. So now, according to UNEP Food Waste Index 2021, around 931 million tons of food waste was recorded. So during COVID, during the Corona period from 2019 to 2020, number of undernourished people, they grew by as many as 161 million. So it's a lot, and although there are more than enough food produced to feed the global population, there's still a huge number of people who still suffer from lack of food. Yeah, and did you know as well that 8 to 10% global greenhouse gas emissions are due to unconsumed foods? I guess you guys didn't know that, but it's something new that you learn every day. So we thought of a solution, and is there a way to transfer good quality unconsumed food to those in need? And we come up with the solution, Food Waste Fighter, right here. So this helps to connect different communities together. So people who produce, those kind of, so let's say supermarkets and stuff, you connect it with a local community. So this app will help you to bridge the connection between this with this people, and those who need the food. Yeah. Okay, so just to present a few little features. So at the start of the app, you can customize your profile, and let's say if you're a personal user, so you can just click on it and then it will select it. If you're a business owner and you want to use it for business or commercial use, and then that's when you click on the business one. So I've also added a little user location button. So for people who are not familiar with Apple's framework, so basically you could click on this button right here, and it will present to you your location, your current location, whereabouts. So I think it was right here. Yeah. So so basically we're right here, right now. So if I run through a natural language query, so this basically will help you to find supermarkets that are near you. They'll be presented as these mapping annotation. So you'll be able to see where it's closest to you, and then you could probably go to those locations to get food and stuff. And we've also added a little fun thing for users as well. So the tweets, and here people, users and business owners alike, they can post features. So they can post so they can notify the users of the app that they're selling food at a cheaper price, or there's going to be donations that will be taking place. So that's when users and business people can connect with each other. And as well, you can search in the search. You can search a post and you can find what. Sorry, give me a second. So yeah, you can search for posts and then it will come up based on Apple's search features. You'll be able to filter out posts and you'll be able to find out search a related post that you might be interested in. And as well, you'll be able to add your own posts as a user. So right here you can add some photos. You can write a title and then you can have a simple text just to talk about your contents of your post right here. So we're still continuing to work on this app, even after this solution challenge is over. So we're hoping that in future we'll be able to continue helping users and businesses alike. So connect them. And with this app, we believe like we'll be able to create a more time efficient way for people to, find a more cheaper and as well good quality on consumed foods. And so we're hoping that in future we're gonna add more features such as like notification services. So next time when you're near a location, let's say maybe 500 meters away from a store, you'll be notified, and there'll be some kind of local event that's taking place. So you could go to that store. Multi-platform accessibility. So basically, right now this app is targeted for iPhone users, but we're hoping to expand it outwards towards iPad and maybe Mac applications as well. Yeah, you'll be able to do store ratings as well, so we're still working on that one. Yeah, so you'll be able to track and update users. So this will work hand in hand with your notification services. Localization basically means that you'll be able to translate it. So right now it's all in English, but we're hoping to maybe connect it with Japanese users in Japan, the local community. So we'll be doing that. Yeah. We're hoping to do store search as well. So instead of finding on the map of like nearby stores, you'll be able to just search it, and it should produce the same output that you'll see on the map kit. Number of views, and you can like posts as well. So it's a really simple one. Yeah, and yeah, we just hope that continuing on, we'll be able to produce more and more features and create a more efficient application. And thank you. Any questions? Yeah, hi.
Do you pay to use the app?
Sorry?
Do you pay to use the app as a consumer or business?
Do
you pay money to use the app?
Oh, no, actually this, you don't need to pay the app, because this one is more of, we're not looking for a, right now we're at this stage where we're not looking for people to pay our applications just to use like pay to use applications. But right now our main goal is to help connect people in need. So that's our main, that's our main goal at hand at the moment. Yeah. Anybody else? Hi, yes.
Hi, do you have a way to protect businesses from people who are misusing the app for discounted and free food?
Yeah, actually, this is a question that we've discussed within our team, and it's definitely something. It's a security feature that, and it's related to do with security and privacy, right? And it can be really difficult at times, but we are still working on a way to like, protect users against this kind of like misusage of our application. Yeah. Anybody else? Hi.
So in the future, if you were to expand beyond iOS to Android, how difficult would that be? What would be the key challenges to expand?
Right. Thanks for your question. Okay, so right now, as I said before, we're using iOS applications and stuff like that. But expanding outwards to Android is not really much of a challenge. It's just more of a learning curve, I say. So because for people who understand programming and coding, then you know that Android and iOS would have a similar kind of writing style. So I wouldn't say it's too difficult, but at this point, we're more focused on iOS users, and because Apple provides a lot of security features as well. So it's definitely, from that starting point, is definitely easier, and then we could probably work our way into Android, and we will see what our challenges are over there. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh. Okay, it's a really quiet room. Okay, I guess it's done.
Speechless.
Yeah, I'm definitely speechless right now. If there's no other questions, I guess I'll stop here and I'll hand it over to Nick's team. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Team Food Waste Fighter. And finally, moving on to our final team for today.
So the third presentation is by Team Carbon Calculator app by Jake, Min, Jaewoon, and Andre. The core idea of their app is to utilize image recognition technology to calculate a meal's carbon footprint and visualize how much damage we do to the environment with our life choices. By adding features like a scoreboard to compete with friends in a visual graph charting progress, they want to encourage communities to make eco-conscious choices in a fun, interactive way. So please, let's welcome Team 3, Carbon Calculator app.
All right, thank you. I'm Jake from Team 3, and our app, we're still looking for a better name, but it's for now tentatively called the Carbon Calculator app. And I will be presenting our product. I have to say our presentation is a little bit more ad hoc and not as organized as everyone else's, but I'm gonna try my best and make up for it with my charmingness. So, just kidding. Okay. Just like click. Oh, sorry. This one. This one. Okay. Oh, right. Got it. Thank you. So, firstly, what is a carbon footprint? I'm sure everyone here has heard the term at least once, and I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with the concept. It's a measure of the exclusive total amount of carbon dioxide emissions that is directly and indirectly caused by an activity or is accumulated over the life stages of a product. In terms of food, it's how much carbon dioxide was released to deliver this piece of food to you. And the amount of greenhouse gas emissions produced from the processes related to the food one eats, just the consumption process, not even, just the act of private households and private entities eating their food every day is a pretty considerable portion of global GHG emissions. So 26% of global GHG emissions come from food systems. 10 to 30% of households' carbon footprint is accounted by food consumption. Adopting a vegetarian meal 1 day a week could save the equivalent of driving 1,160 miles. I think this is in a year. So even though individual food consumption isn't the biggest contributing factor to carbon footprint and also global warming, we all know who the true culprits are, which are the big corporations. It's still a considerable part, and especially because the big corporations aren't doing crap to address this issue, we should probably pick up the slack. So that's where our idea for this app comes from. So before I move on, I think we can skip this. Yeah. So before I move on, how many people here recognize that environmental issues and global warming, carbon dioxide emissions is a force to be reckoned with? It's something important. Can I just raise hands? Yeah, survey. Okay, great. How many of you subscribe to veganism, vegetarianism, or some sort of dietary restriction in order to curb the influence that you have on the environment? Yeah, that's what I thought. Not to judge. I too enjoy my steaks, but this is the problem. I think that we all know that it's a problem, but we don't want to make a 0 to 100 transition. We don't want to sacrifice so much of our life, and we don't want to expend so much cost on a really, significantly life-changing decision. There should be ways to do it in a more flexible, in a more gray area where we environment. So before we go into the so the tech stack we used for this was we built our app on React Native and Redux, and for the core functionality of the actual computation process, we used the Google Cloud Vision API and Clarified API when this was a little bit too expensive to use for testing over and over. So we use these two vision APIs to identify food and then from there convert to calculate a carbon footprint. And we also use Google Firebase to keep track of our data and provide basic functionalities to our app like authentication. Oh. This is actually a video on how it works. Do you know how to activate? Yeah. It starts on a white screen. Yeah, sorry. Confusing. Oh. Can you maybe escape it once? Wait, no. Oh, really? Oh, wait. I added it this morning. Oh! Sorry, I thought. Yeah, the link's on the front. Sorry, this is totally my fault. I thought my last minute changes will be updated, but yeah. Is there a way to like cast my phone or something?
Can you just show me the link through the selection?
Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry, I don't have my phone with me. The link is the same.
Or can you send it to the mini solution challenge channel?
Okay. Oh, hold on. Mini solution. Yeah, that's the slide. Thank you. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So this is a video showing the actual functionality, how it works. First, it produces what are predictions of the item depicted. You can check all of the ingredients or relevant items, and then it converts a score, which is shown right here. So it's 1. The reason why this is discretized, it's on a tier of 1 to 5, which will probably include it in future updates of the app, is because we have to control for all ingredients involved, take an average, and also consider weight and apportionment within the item, which is a challenge that we haven't been able to quite overcome, because averaging out all ingredients, for example, what we do right now is we take individual ingredients and their carbon footprint per 100 grams. And then from there we average out the total carbon footprint of these ingredients and compute a score. And if that score is in between 0 and 100 grams of CO2 emissions per 100 grams, we give it a so-and-so rating, so a score of 5, a good job. And then if it exceeds 2,000 grams of CO2 emissions per 100 grams of food, or 100 grams of that particular meal, we give it a low score. there are significant challenges because, like I said, it's very hard to infer the actual proportions of ingredients from cloud vision APIs or like just from OCR, from image analysis technology. And so we're using a grade scale like that for now. Okay. Yeah, next. So you can, what we saw previously was users selecting an image from their camera roll. You can also take images and from there predict. Yeah, that's my breakfast this morning. I had a plate of lemons. Yeah, so that is the core functionality of our app. We were also planning on implementing a socially interactive component, like tracking your progress in terms of your meals and their environmental impact, and also allowing an interface where users could compete for the impact that they have on the environment through their food, and make it a competitive, fun activity to reduce carbon emissions through each person's individual meals. However, some of the challenges we faced before we reached that, we were able to implement these features, are lack of available APIs for computing carbon footprint of foods. I think there's something very sinister going on because it's really difficult to find APIs that help you like compute like carbon footprint of food. So what we're actually doing right now is we crawled the internet for basic ingredients, basic food items, and their carbon footprint, put them in a database in Firestore tentatively, and we're actually drawing from that database right now. But in actuality, it's very hard to cover all ingredients or have a wide reach using that method. So we're trying to think of a better solution and trying to find better technology suited for what we want to do, which has been a difficulty. Second, the conversion process of ingredients detected from the images to carbon footprint, like I mentioned earlier, is quite difficult due to the difficulty of inferring the actual amount of something being used in a meal through image detection technology. And secondly, time constraint made it difficult for us to fully develop the app. So for now, we are left only with the core functionality. So what's next is to finalize the calculation of carbon footprint score from food item names. So further develop an algorithm that makes sense and has a wider reach than our current method, and implement the aforementioned social elements to the app to make it a more fun, incentivized way for people to deal with this problem. And that's it for our presentation. Thanks for listening. Sorry for the hiccups. Okay. Any questions? There you go.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier, but the app, is it possible to, when you don't have a picture, can you just search up your name and get the carbon?
Oh no, we haven't really done that. You can take a picture yourself with your phone. We're imagining like a phone that someone we're imagining people use it on their phone, so we're kind of took it for granted that they have a camera on there. But yeah, we could. That's actually that would be a really good addition, is if you could just like search up food item names, especially when maybe the reliability of the prediction, the predictor is not great, and like you have a senbei, but it's saying that it's a picture of beer or something like that, then I guess that would be a good thing to add. Yeah, but as of now, no, there's no search functionality. Thank you. All right, any other questions? Let's start with you.
Yeah, so first of all, I really enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to go, man.
Thanks. Did my charm make up for it?
Did more than you expected, so. So a couple of questions. My first one is the carbon score scale from 0 to 10?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that question, and I actually had to write it down too. So, firstly, the unit for computing carbon footprint is let me see. It's like grams of CO2 per 100 grams or whatever, however many grams produced. So the app takes a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not good, 5 being excellent, and a score of 1 would mean that your food item is producing more than 2,000 grams of carbon dioxide emissions per 100 grams of serving. 2 would be more 2,000 to 1,000. 3 would be 1,000 to 500, between 500 and 1,000. 4 would be between 100 and 500, and 5 would be less than 100 grams. And just to put this into context, 100 grams of beef steak serving is about 4,000 grams of carbon dioxide emissions. You are emitting 4,000 grams of carbon dioxide for every 100 gram steak that you eat. However, tofu, we have like tofu hamburgers now. Tofu, same 100 gram serving of tofu only emits around 200 grams of carbon dioxide. So on our app, a tofu burger would give you a score of 4. Pretty good job. Whereas a beef steak would give you a score of 1. So pick it up, try to be better. Yeah. So that's kind of the scale.
And my second one is, has your app learned pretty much about mixed dishes? If you can, if you can track out the carbon footprint of each ingredient.
Yes, so actually it does that. I use really simple images for the example, but for example, you could put in a spaghetti, and based on whether it's like a tomato-based spaghetti or like a cream-based spaghetti, it emits different ingredients, different predicted ingredients. And so you do kind of have to go through and check the ingredients that are appropriate. But once you do, and then you submit and calculate the score based off of the ingredients that you supply to it, it computes the score. So yes, it is compatible with mixed, more complicated dishes. Yeah. Thank you. No problem. Thank you for the very good 2 questions. Yes.
Yeah, adding on to that question, what about like more complex dishes such as like sauces and like pastries? It's really hard to like recognize what's inside of the sauce or whatever is inside the pastry.
Yes, it definitely is, and in that sense, it's not 100% accurate. But I am surprised at how really good Google Vision technology is. They actually have a model based solely off of like food. So it's trained on food, and it's trained on identifying food items and ingredients. And for example, it would take like some sort of like tomato-based soup and compute the possible likely ingredients that are included in even the soup, or for example, you said sauces. It can identify like Worcester sauce or other like barbecue sauce, and from there, these are like common enough that they have their own like carbon footprints, and they're probably included in a database somewhere too. But for other sauces or other like dishes that don't exist in a traditional database, it tries hard to identify the ingredients that probably make it up. For example, if there's cheese in there, it would compute cheese. If there's egg in there, it would give you egg. And I know this because my mom makes this really weird egg-based food that I've never seen anywhere else, and yet it was still able to identify like the eggs and the bits of like broccoli in it. Yeah, it's a weird dish, but it's very good, and compute a score. So yeah, thanks for the question. Oh yeah, advantage.
I actually have a couple of questions here.
Yeah, of course.
So, firstly, is the software able to recognize the size of the food? For example, 100 grams of steak versus 50 or 20 grams of steak?
No, so that's the major difficulty in our, or like major flaw in our algorithm right now, and that's why we decided to make it a 1 to 5 sort of ranking instead of giving an actual estimated, this is not something grams of CO2 per serving, because we actually, before we started using the Google's API, we tried to build a machine learning model ourselves, and that accuracy was like below 30%. It was really, really bad at identifying accurately, especially the portion sizes, and it's a very difficult thing to do, I think. There were a couple papers on like archive sites, academic archive sites, that tried to do something similar. But yeah, it's just a very technically involved process. So we weren't able to make that work. Yeah.
Then, for example, in case the score, like the CO2 emission is a bit too high, like the score is around 1 or 2, would there be an option in the future for you to suggest alternatives to reduce the CO2?
That's a great idea. Actually, I'm taking that. Yeah. Like that would make this even more practical and user friendly. And I think that's something that we could absolutely do. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Any other questions? All right. Okay, thank you again for being very patient.
It's really tough. All the teams had very interesting and great ideas.
I agree, but there can only be one winner today. And I have the results here with me now. But why not make it a little bit more interesting?
Sure, how though?
Let's have a mini countdown, shall we?
Okay, everybody, let's start from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So the winner of the 2022 GDSC Mini Solution Challenge is Carbon Calculator App Team. So the members of the Carbon Calculator App Team are Jake, Min, Jae-woong, and Andre.
We welcome you onto the stage. Please come up. So, okay, we would like to have a little short interview for the winner.
Thank you. So we'd like to hear a few words from the winning team. So what does it mean for you to win the first ever GDSC Mini Solution Challenge?
I've never accomplished anything bigger in my life. I'm extremely humble right now. No, but seriously, thank you so much. I really wasn't expecting this, so my mind's kind of a blank. But yeah, I'm really glad that we got to share our brainchild here with everyone and listen to everyone else's presentations. And it was a really fun event overall. And I'm really glad we got to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. And since other members are not here today, could you explain what each member's role during the project?
Yes, of course. So Jae-woon, he was our brain when it comes to all like machine learning technology. So he was the one that at the very beginning trained the model, our own model, and then we eventually decided to make a switch to other existing APIs for that. But he provided a lot of good advice and input on that. Min, he was the one that designed our tech stack and designed how it would go overall. Andre, he contributed so much to the vision, the social elements, and the ideas were all Andre's doing, and he also helped make the presentation. And I was the back-end programmer, so I was in charge of like putting it into actuality and making it an app in the form of an app. So yeah, that's where we all lie.
All right, thank you for the answer. So how do you think you will expand and add on to this project in the future now that you've won this mini solution challenge?
There were some really good suggestions for how we could improve our service and make it more user-friendly. And so obviously the highest priority right now is to reflect those suggestions into the app and also just to refurbish the algorithm and complete the social elements of the app, which are still under construction as of now. But yeah, I'm really excited to keep this a continued project and maybe extend it into something more in the future. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So we'd like to invite Rose to hand out the certificates for the winners.
Right.
And we'll have a picture time.
Okay. Certificate of, should I? Thank you. Certificate of winning competition. Carbon Calculator is hereby awarded the certificate of winning competition for being selected as the best presenter in the 2022 Mini Solution Challenge hosted by Google Developer Student Club Waseda. Congratulations.
Thank
you. Let's take a picture.
Oh yeah.
Picture? Okay.
Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much.
Also, the handwriting. Toko did the handwriting. So yeah.
Thank you, Toko.
Credit to Toko. Thank you, Toko.
Where are you? Arigatou.
After during lunch.
All right, so for the prize for the winner is going to be a limited edition Google I/O merch. And the prizes will be shipped later on to the address of the members of the winning team.
Thank you.
So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. Awesome. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Have a seat. So now we have reached the end of the event we prepared.
So we hope everyone here enjoyed the presentations and also the networking session with the other participants.
Thank you for coming and participating in the first ever Mini Solution Challenge, and we look forward to your participation in future events as well.
We would like to thank the venue EF for kindly letting us host this event at Shibuya Cross Tower.
Also, we would like to thank Red Bull for sponsoring this event and providing us beverages to stay cool in the summer heat.
We also like to thank all the teams who participated in today's Mini Solution Challenge and also presented all their great ideas.
And we would like to thank our lead, Rose, for your support and all of the organizers for your hard work in organizing the event. We really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And once again, congratulations to the winning team. And before we close today's event, we'd like to inform everyone here about our social media and also our mailing list. So you can see on the slides here. So to keep up with the latest events and information from GDSC Waseda, please follow our social media and also kindly join our mailing list. And the mailing list is open to everyone, so non-members of GDSC Waseda is also welcome. And on your way out, you also see a QR code on the reception desk that you can scan to join our mailing list. And if you have any further questions or any other suggestions for us, you can ask us or any of the organizers for help.
And we would like to remind everyone to keep the venue clean before you leave. So, yeah.
And one last thing before we close, we want to invite every participant here to join us in the front to take a group picture. So if everybody could just join us in the front.